Hey, it's party time, Mom. Welcome to another episode of the Chad Prather Show in Studio 22, the mothership. I like to see how fast I can say that. Puppet Master Mark, the perfectionist himself, is at the helm, driving us into the nether regions of the unknown, because today's episode is truly unknown. Candace, the queen of the Ethiopians. As we were discussing earlier, the reason it's unknown today is we're just sick of it. We're sick of all the same stuff. I mean, how much can you talk about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and the coronavirus and racism and riots? And so we're just gonna sit around. We're gonna focus on Party Foul Steve over here at the pub. I know. We need a hammer and a nail.
I got to
Steve.
turn the mic on. I forgot to turn it on.
We need a hammer and a nail. Where's Ben at? Nail. Is he behind you?
Ben, where's Ben?
Is he back there? Show everybody. We've talked about Bobcat Ben, the new edition. Be careful with Ben now. I was walking around the studio today and forgot I had him under my arm. So people thought I was carrying my pet. And I was like, if that's my pet, then
I don't know if I can prop him
we
up.
got a problem. I don't think so.
He's going to be eating out of that bowl.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to work.
So.
Hot news, Natalie. Hot news, Natalie. Yeah. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of all of it.
It's just more of the same.
It's more of the same. So, I do want to say, I want to tell everybody, I've got a couple of things I want to get into, things I was thinking about this morning on the way to the studio. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. I want to talk about this idea of a social justice warrior. I want to break that down, because we keep hearing that tossed around, and everybody basically knows what it means. But I want to talk a little bit about that later on. Remind everybody, go to watchchad.com. That's where all the fun stuff is. We're going to be out on the road in October. We're going to be in Kansas City. Going to be in Omaha, Nebraska. Going to be in Des Moines, Iowa. Lots of places we're going to be. Where there's some place I always keep forgetting. Oh, we're going to be in Jordan's Landing, Utah, which is north of Salt Lake City. So we're headed back up there. This weekend, I'm going to be at an event down in Conroe, Texas. A group of young people. That's right. They're going to allow these young, impressionable minds to listen to me. I'll be with Congressman Dan Crenshaw, Candace Owens, the BlazeTV's Allie Stuckey. Several others are going to be there.
Where in Conroe?
Hey, am I others?
You're not speaking.
I know, but I'm there so that I can still be considered others.
You're others.
Okay.
They didn't put you on the poster.
Well, I didn't expect
I'm
that.
shocked they put me on the poster.
Where?
I don't know.
Well, I'm just upset.
At a location.
That's where I grew up.
I know. Everybody on the planet knows
I just want to remind you, because I missed my invite.
I know. Well,
It's not held at the trailer park.
You wouldn't be going.
Oh, okay. Huh?
You wouldn't go.
Yeah, I would.
No, you wouldn't. Come on and go. I'm giving the invite right now to everybody on the planet.
This weekend?
Yes.
I can't go.
Exactly. So, yeah, I'm going to be speaking. You know what I'm going to talk about?
You.
No, I'm not going to do that.
You're going to talk about the governorship, right?
No, I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
But I am going to talk about what dogs do when they travel in packs. Got a great little talk on that.
Ooh.
To these young people. So we're going to have a fun time.
Like the mob mentality?
Well, it's kind of like it's staying focused on what matters, which is hard for all of us to do sometimes.
Definitely.
And dogs that run in packs tend to do one of four things at any given time until something else happens, and then everything changes.
Okay.
All right. And maybe I'll tell you after the break or something like that.
Okay. And then I actually have a question for you later.
Okay, later.
It's deep.
Am sitting on pins and needles with anticipation. Candace, the queen of the Ethiopians. Hey, every single day we're seeing new shocking videos of anarchists threatening innocent people, destroying businesses, throwing Molotov cocktails at the police. These riots have endured because the money keeps flowing in. Did you know that Verizon, yes, the people that you get your cell phone from, donated $10 million to a myriad of social justice organizations, including Al Sharpton's National Action Network? Patriot Mobile instead shares your values, and unlike Big Mobile, they're not going to send your hard-earned money to aid in the destruction of America or fund Planned Parenthood. Instead, get the same reliable nationwide service and support from a company that loves America, shares your values, supports our police. Switching is easy. Keep your phone number, bring your own phone, or buy a new one. Go to patriotmobile.com/Chad. Get a free activation plus a special gift with the offer code Chad. Or you can call their U.S.-based customer service team at 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. Veterans and first responders are going to save even more, so please make the switch today. PatriotMobile.com/Chad. That is PatriotMobile.com/Chad, or call 972-PATRIOT. We'll be back with the fun stuff. And we are back. So I went up to Texas gun experience, up to the gun range yesterday, right?
Great place.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard. I spent a lot of money on ammunition.
Appreciate it.
Well, every time I pull the trigger, I hear cha-ching, 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 cha-ching.
It's
Every
gotten
time
expensive.
that spent brass hits the floor, that's what I hear. Cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. But I bought a case of 9mm ammo. Let me tell you, goodness sakes.
It's expensive right now.
It's expensive. And I know what Texas Gun Experience is getting it for. And I'm like, y'all ain't even making no money off of this.
Right.
It's crazy.
It's hard to
because I
come
have
by.
the membership up there, right? So I get the discount anyway. And with my discount that's up there, I was like, dang, y'all ain't making any money.
Yeah.
Because Jared had told me what he's paying per box on that. And I was like, sheesh. But you got it, and that's the great thing about it.
Yes.
And a lot of people are out there looking for ammunition. But I was able to get 5.7 too, which was hard to get. So they're good that way.
How was your aim?
Fantastic.
You had a good day.
Fantastic. So I was shooting my 5.7, shooting my Glock 19. And, you know, I never had a Glock. It's the only Glock that I have, and it's become my favorite gun to shoot. And I know everybody's got their favorites out there. You got F&N people, you got Smith & Wesson people, you got Glock people, you got blah, blah, blah. You can Heckler and Koch. I mean, you can SIG.
Whatever works for you and puts the round down range, puts it on target.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
And I have obviously a lot of guns, and I have some that I'm better at than others. That Glock 19 I just happen to be good at. So, you know, typically when you're practicing, you ideally want to make sure you get some practice in at like 7 yards and 3 yards, because that's really where the goes down, right? That's where it goes down in most cases. Out to 15 yards, maybe. After 15 yards, it's hard to be accurate with a handgun a lot of times. Some people can knock it down at 100 yards. I get that, right? But I always like to test myself at a farther range, you know? Like put it out at 50 yards and just see. Oh, my gosh. So good.
Really?
Oh, light it up.
Well, then what happened when we did our...
Oh, we were good on pistols.
Okay.
You and I did great on pistols in that competition.
did. We
we
beat
didn't
'em.
do good on shotgun.
Not at all.
No, I didn't do good on shotgun. I did really
hit.
well on pistol.
Well,
You
okay,
hit.
so here's the deal. When you're doing clays in a new place and you haven't warmed up or practiced any, it's just cold right out of the gate. Boom, here you got to shoot clays for a competition. It's kind of hard.
Yeah.
I feel a
shooting clay-
rematch. I think y'all want a rematch.
To let
Shooting
everyone-
clays is hard. We're going to do it.
Just a quick reminder, we had a contest with Kendall Jones, and it was the four of us that kind of made teams, and we had a clay shoot and pistols
Yeah,
contest.
yeah.
And
You forget we only lost the competition overall by 1 second in the timing.
yes,
So it wasn't like we got routed,
right.
okay? We, you know, because the first round of clays I missed, which is unusual, honestly.
Yeah, you're a
I
good
shoot
shot.
a lot of clays.
Yeah.
But I missed both clays. In the second round, popped them. Natalie, not so much.
Well, I've never done it. I
Yeah.
mean, I've done it like once or
It's
twice,
hard.
but I've never learned how to
Yeah.
shoot like that.
Shooting skeet, shooting clay is one of the hardest things.
Yeah.
Shooting trap. I mean, it's all different stuff, but shooting clays can be pretty hard. But handguns, we lit it up.
We did.
Me and you.
We did great,
Yeah.
I think.
And then I did the bullet flip and all that stuff.
You
which
did.
yet took about 12 times to get the bullet to go in the
And
chamber.
that was further than 3 and 7.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we were shooting at about 15 yards for that. But I love to shoot. It was great. It was a lot of fun.
Good. I'm glad you had a good time up there.
I've got a little scar right here from that day from where I got scoped.
yes,
You
let me
know?
see it.
I don't know if you can see it.
That's not bad.
No, it's a little.
Oh, I
just-
do see it.
just a little
Okay.
scar up there. But yeah, I love to shoot, and so I blew off a little steam at Texas Gun yesterday. Fired some rounds, but I'm scared to fire too many because it's expensive.
I know, you might need them.
Yeah. So when dogs run in packs, they do one of four things: they sleep, they eat, they fight amongst each other, and if unthreatened, they allow new members into the pack. Sleep, they eat, they fight amongst each other, and if unthreatened, they allow new members into the pack, okay? That's any organization in the world. We get lethargic, we feed off of the organization. Think about a church, right? You just go there and you're eating, you're consuming, right? A lot of times people don't give themselves a whole lot to the organization. They're in the organization for what the organization can give them.
Right.
So they get a little lethargic, they sleep, they consume, they eat. They fight amongst each other. We know that happens in every organization. And if left to if unthreatened, they'll let new people join the organization, right? Just like a pack of dogs. So we're organizations are people running in packs, right? And so they'll do those four things until a rabbit runs by. When the rabbit runs by, the ones that are sleeping wake up and chase the rabbit. The ones that are eating stop to chase the rabbit. They'll stop fighting amongst each other to chase the rabbit. And if they'll let anybody join now, they'll let any dog join the pack now, as long as you're willing to join the chase, right? They freely join because they're all caught up in the melee. So the question is, what's your rabbit? What's your rabbit? Have you caught the vision of your rabbit? When the rabbit runs by, all that changes, and now it's all about the pursuit. So I'm encouraging people, man. I'm telling you, the rabbit needs to be November 3rd, 2020, as it stands right now. Get a vision for what you got to do November 3rd. I encourage early voting. If you have to do absentee ballots, do that. This mail-in voting junk is just that. It's junk. We're going to have a problem when it comes to counting all of these votes. Steve and I know, listen, when we're trying to send out T-shirts and stuff like that, there are people, it's taking them weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks in some cases to get their shirt in the mail. The post office is a nightmare right now. So this whole thing is going to be a cluster. It really is, no matter how it comes out.
November 3rd is actually, I told you I had a question for you. I just heard on the news, and my mom told me as well, she had heard a story. November 3rd comes around, Donald Trump wins. But the Democrats contest it, and they continue contesting it and keep on contesting it until January 20th rolls around. Do you really think that could happen? Because if that happens, then Pelosi takes over, right? Because we don't have an official...
Well, I mean, could it happen? Yes, it could happen.
Or does a civil war happen before that?
I mean, Glenn Beck's got a special that he did last night that people need to watch, where he says, look, end of 2020 could be the end of America as we know it. I mean, it's that serious in this case. We do have anarchists in the street. I mentioned social justice warriors in the opening. When you say social justice warrior, let's break that phrase down.
Okay.
Warrior, somebody who fights for something. Justice, that is that sense of right and wrong. It is making sure that rights are kept up and that wrongs are righted. Okay, it is justice. Social is everyone. Okay, so there should be justice for everyone, and we should all fight for justice for everyone. But what we're seeing happening in the streets are not people fighting for everyone. They're not fighting for me. They're not fighting for justice for me. They're fighting it for, according to them, marginalized people and whoever that may be as they classify it. So if you're not fighting for all, it ain't social. And if you're not fighting for all, you're fighting for none. Okay? So what we have out here is ultimately anarchy going on in people's minds because they don't want to destroy systemic racism. They don't want to destroy racism. They want to destroy America because they've now been taught that America was built on foundations that were all wrong. We weren't founded in 1776, according to them. We were founded in 1619 whenever the first slaves stepped foot on the shores. So that's not accurate history, okay? And so they're being taught wrong history. They're being taught revisionist ideas, postmodern ideas where it's hard to define anything. Language has been changed so that you can't even have a straight conversation with somebody. Because to say social justice warrior doesn't mean social justice warrior at all, as I just described, right? So back to your question. It's all interpretive. Right now, everything is all interpretive. People can look at the Constitution. They can interpret it all different ways because nothing has any meaning anymore, right? They took a crayon and scribble all over the Constitution trying to make it say what they want it to say. So we'll see what happens. How long can they contest it? We'll see. Unless it's an absolute blowout landslide, it's going to be contested. It's going to be contested by both sides, no matter what.
Okay.
If it's close and Biden wins, it's going to be contested by the right and vice versa.
Sure.
Now, what I see happening is rather than calling the election on election night, they're going to say, well, we still got to wait for the mail-in ballots to get here.
Right.
Right. So even if it looks like a big lead for Donald Trump, weeks later, it's going to get closer and closer and closer because now these, quote, mail-in ballots are starting to show up that were late. And you don't have a decision on election night. You have something more like Gore and versus W back in 2000. This takes a long time to sort out, right? Because you remember that nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a matter of actual ballots that they were trying to figure out who voted for who.
Wasn't that Chad's fault?
Yeah.
It was all Chad's fault. It was all the
Chad.
Chads. All the Chads. So we'll see what happens on that deal. It's interesting to me. We've got a quick little video here. Let me show you how much of a puppet Joseph Biden is. Okay, pay attention to what Kamala Harris or what Biden says in this clip.
Harris-Biden administration is going to relaunch that effort and keep pushing further to make it easier for military spouses and veterans to find meaningful careers, to ensure teachers know how to support military children in their classrooms, and to improve support for caregivers and survivors.
All right, the very first phrase I was talking over. Play the beginning right there again.
Harris-Biden administration is going to relaunch that effort and keep pushing further to make it easier for military spouses and veterans.
You can stop it. Harris-Biden administration.
There it is. The
Harris
truth.
Biden. And then Kamala Harris, in a speech the other day, actually referred to it as the Harris administration.
Yes.
So,
see, they don't always lie.
Would he step down, or
That's
would
true.
they just swap places? Can they do that?
no.
Okay.
I mean, if he gets out of the way, she becomes president.
I was going
Right.
to say, all he has to do is say, for medical reasons or whatever, I need to step down.
This is a woman who did not even poll 2% in the primaries. Okay. Nobody wanted her. Nobody was interested. There's an agenda at play. I'm just telling you. In my brain, I believe there's an agenda at play. There's something that's there. There's something about Kamala Harris that the left wants her in there. They want her in there. I think they wanted her in there all along because whenever he said it's going to be a woman of color as he's going to pick as vice president, I think he knew right then. I think he knew back then it was going to be Kamala Harris. That's why he could say something so definitively. I mean, what if Jesus had shown up and said, I want to be your vice president, Joe? And he said, nah, I got a woman of color.
Yeah, well, that's affirmative action.
Well,
they told him it's going to be a woman of color or else.
Yeah, and so that's the deal. Now you got Kamala Harris in there. I think she was the whatever you want to call her, probably the Manchurian candidate who's been slated all along for whatever reason. Either they can control her or she's the right mouthpiece or something. But he is, as Donald Trump said, Biden is the Trojan horse for socialism. He's just carrying it in. They had to put a white face that was recognizable, the grandfatherly old guy in there who had a chance at getting elected. And you look at these polls out there, and he's leading everywhere. I mean, he was leading by 4% based on the polls in Texas, of all places.
Well, and those people who like Obama immediately associate him with
Obama.
And they're like, this has got to be good.
Yeah.
He'll do.
He'll do
in a pinch.
Hey guys, being in debt sucks. Credit cards, student loans, mortgages, doesn't matter what kind. Being in debt flat out sucks. I have been there in my life, and it is no fun. Haven't had a credit card since 2007. I don't believe in them because I'm not good with them. Well, there's a way to defeat your debt thanks to bills.com. If you're losing sleep over maxed out credit cards or stressed out thinking about your mortgage payments or student loans, bills.com can help you take back control of your life. The first step to lowering your monthly payments and becoming debt-free is to get a free debt assessment. It only takes a few minutes and could save you hundreds or even thousands of dollars each month. From debt settlement to personal loan consolidation to student loan or mortgage refinancing, bills.com has you covered. They're part of the Freedom Financial Network, which has been in business since 2002 and settled over $10 billion in debt. So take the first step to defeating your debt. Get your free debt assessment today. Go to bills.com/watchchad. That's bills.com/watchchad. You heard me, bills.com/watchchad, and we'll be right back. So we talked about Kamala Harris, and we could sit here for the next rest of the show and talk about Joe Biden gaffes. And the other day he's got grasshoppers jumping all over him as he's standing in front of the field and calling Donald Trump a climate arsonist, and interesting phrase, and talking about the suburbs burning down and all of these things. This isn't climate change, by the way, on the West Coast. This is called arson. I mean, they've already arrested one guy for throwing Molotov cocktails out there and starting the forest fires. They've now burned 30 times. So last year they had the forest fires out in California and stuff. Those fires, I want to say, burned like 180,000 acres, something like that. This fire is now 30 times bigger than that. I mean, you're into the millions of acres of, and so this is Antifa. This is Antifa burning down these states. I mean, I'm just going out on the limb and saying it. The guy throwing a Molotov cocktail out there, Antifa. So this is an arsonist thing. This isn't a climate change thing. Very interesting that those fires stop at the Canadian border and the Mexican border.
Well, they don't have a passport.
They don't have a passport to get across, do they?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's because there's more to it than this just being raging out of control wildfires. But if you look at the map, they stop at Canada and they stop at Mexico. What, Steve?
We have I forgot how many active serial arsonists in the United States. It's kind of like serial killers. There's like 20 active serial killers in the United States. You have the same thing with arsonists.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, and then Gavin Newsom, as we talked about on the show the other day, Gavin Newsom wants to take the convicts and let them fight the fires, and then they can, once they get out, they can be firefighters. It's a morbidly bad idea. Oh my goodness!
Maybe he's thinking they'll lose a few.
I mean, yeah. Oh. It's a horrible, horrible idea. But take a look at this. Mark, play this clip where Joe Biden's getting off the plane here. This was from the other day. There he is. He's getting off the plane. He points and he waves at nothing. Just empty field out there. Just empty field. And you can see the fire truck that's down there. But look, points, waves. It's a photo op. Like there's a big crowd out there. There's nothing. I mean, obviously he's trying to do it like a photo op. Like there's a big crowd out there.
Maybe he was pointing at the firefighters.
But he's not even in that direction.
I'm just trying.
So, and there's no firefighters over there. There's a truck. There's a truck. There's he's surrounded by security, right? There's Secret Service. So there's not even any firefighters down there. Anyway, that's enough, Mark. I mean, I don't know, man.
Maybe he sees people.
I don't know, but at the same time, imagine the news cycle if Obama had gotten, the president of United Arab Emirates and Israel and Bahrain to come together and sign that peace treaty that they just did the other day. I mean, that's all they would talk about. They'd be giving him Nobel Peace. They'd be putting. See, liberals love the Nobel Peace Prize until they try to give it to Trump. Then they hate it. They were all about Nobel Peace Prize. And Trump comes in there and does something that's monumentally historical, and that's that. Well, screw him.
I don't know if you caught the other day, the president and the people, it was some sort of where they brought people in, and George Stephanopoulos and the president were on the stage, and the people were asking him questions, and there were people for Trump, people against Trump, and one of the ladies brought up healthcare and how she has a pre-existing condition, and what is he going to do for pre-existing conditions, and your healthcare is just horrible. And then George Stephanopoulos kind of hit him up on that too. Yeah, you've been horrible, and what are you thinking, and what are you doing? Obamacare was at least better than, your plans, and of course he's saying false, but he reminded people, we haven't had good healthcare for 40 years.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden now it's all Trump's fault.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah.
So
anybody that's educated on the topic of healthcare in America will agree that there needs to be healthcare reform.
Yes.
Obamacare wasn't the answer. That was a step towards a one-payer system. It was a step towards socialized medicine.
So expensive
and ridiculous. And you couldn't keep your doctor. And,
no.
And it was a pain for the doctors. It was not a good thing for health practitioners and medical practitioners and the such. So anyway, I mean, there needs to be reform. And I've said it over and over. It pissed me off that once Trump got in, the Republicans the Republicans in Washington, D.C., they didn't have a plan. They had 8 years to come up with something.
Yes.
They had 8 years to come up with something, but they were so convinced Hillary Clinton was going to win. That swamp's an interesting place, man. It's full of weird creatures. You know, if you ever drain the pond and look at the bottom, there's some weird stuff crawling around down there. And that's what we've started seeing in Washington, D.C. Trump came in there and pulled the plug on some things. And, boy, you started seeing the roaches scurry whenever the lights came on. And we're still seeing it. We are still seeing it. So,
and to be honest, I look at all these issues, and I'm like, man, if I were there, I would have this opinion, I would have that opinion. But if anybody asked me about healthcare, I would honestly have to look at it and go, I don't know the answer. Like, yeah, I really don't know.
I don't know that there is one answer, because you think about if the government starts controlling the healthcare, then the government can control your lifestyle.
Yeah. How
you eat, what you put in your body. They should be able to, right? If they're going to cover all the cost of it.
Well,
we could end obesity. We could, no smoking,
just like Michelle
no drinking.
Obama making school lunches inedible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were throwing lunches away left and right every day. Every school was complaining about how much food was thrown away because they're feeding them garbage.
Yeah.
No,
it takes me back to pizza day.
Oh, I loved pizza day.
Me too, man.
That flat piece.
Just a rectangle
cheese
piece
burnt.
Yeah.
So good.
Cheeseburger Friday.
School food, man. We'd eat anything when we were kids.
Yeah.
Totally.
I'm not going to go there.
Except for that shepherd's pie.
That shepherd's pie. Nobody wanted that, or the turkey tetrazzini. I make reference to turkey tetrazzini on my #1 hit album, Y'all Shut Up. It's pretty interesting. On the song Motel 6. That Motel 6 with its neon sign. Seen more things than the stars at night. Lots of loving, lots of yes, no maybes. Empty beer cans and making babies.
Hey.
Few I love yous and some broken hearts. A lot of wild secrets made in the dark. Huge upgrade from the trailer park. It ain't much, but it's ours at the Motel 6. Got a new song coming out. Let me read you the lyrics to this and tell me if this doesn't make you happy. There's war in the streets in other countries. No, we don't need none of that here. Officers serve on the front line every day so that we don't have to live in fear. Behind every badge is a human, father, son, daughter, husband, or wife. There may be a few that don't live up to the creed, but most are willing to give up their life. How will we get justice? Who will be looking out for you? How do we protect red and yellow, black and white if we don't back the blue?
Ooh.
Yeah. Nice. Powerful.
Good song. I wrote this.
Yeah.
Me and CJ and Adam Searan, we wrote this.
That's great.
And we're recording it this week. Would you wake up at 3 or would you show up at 3 in the morning to stop a man from beating his wife? Would you be willing to take a bullet every day for someone you've never met in your life? Could you rescue a baby from dying or tell a family their child isn't coming home? If you wouldn't, how can you take away the jobs from those who sacrifice more than you know? Mm-hmm. So then the chorus again, how will we get justice? Who will you be looking out for you? How do we protect red and yellow, black and white if we don't back the blue? I like it.
And, I'll say we hear a lot about it. It's all about racism right now, but you still see that it has very little to do with that. That video of that cop being beat up by that black dude in a group, just a big old group of black guys came up, pants down, and protected the cop. Took that guy and beat the crap out of him. Yeah. We're more on the same page than we realize. It's just the media's twisting it in another direction, and a few loudmouths.
Yeah, it's a lot of loudmouths out there. Very interesting.
Yeah, a lot of loudmouths with big platforms.
And that's
like
sad.
NBA players.
Sad but true.
Not naming any.
Yeah.
Well, fishing lure. You just use a lot of these people.
Yeah.
Who you're like, shh.
Yeah. I support police officers. I stand with them. I support firefighters, emergency service personnel. I support them. And I love that line in there where it says there may be a few that don't live up to the creed. Those aren't the ones we're talking about.
That's right.
Those aren't the ones we're talking about.
Hey,
when you had the same car insurance or homeowner's insurance for years, you kind of get trapped into paying your premiums and not thinking about it. That makes it really easy to overpay and not even realize it. I've had my current home insurance policy for a long, long time, car insurance, all that stuff. And sometimes I just, you just pay it and you forget about it and you don't think about it because you've gotten in the habit of it. Stop overpaying for car and homeowners insurance. See about getting a lower rate for the exact same coverage you already have thanks to Gabby. Gabby's going to take the pain out of shopping for insurance by giving you an apples-to-apples comparison of your current coverage with 40 of the top insurance providers like Progressive, Nationwide, and Travelers. Just link your current insurance account, and in just minutes, you're going to be able to see quotes for the same exact coverage you currently have. That's exactly what I did, and I'm with one of those companies now. Now, logging into your current insurance provider, you can get, just in a matter of moments, dozens of competing coverage options. Gabby's going to do that for you, and their customers save $825 per year on average. And if they can't find savings like they did for me, they're going to let you know so you can relax knowing you have the best rate out there already. There's no need to change. They're never going to sell your info, so you're not going to get any spam or robocalls. It's totally free to check your rate, and there's no obligation. Take a few minutes right now. Stop overpaying on your car and home insurance. Go to Gabby, Gabi.com, Gabby.com/watchchad. That's Gabby.com/watchchad. Save some money. We'll be right back. All right, Candace, I don't know what I'm about to see. I don't know what's going on here. I mean, if you're not triggered, you're not paying attention. There ought to be.
I'm about to get ready to be triggered.
They're throwing stuff out there. You can't tell anymore with, it's ludicrous, the stuff that's out there in the world today, the attempts at influencing the way we think about things. So Candace has a couple of images here. Show me what I need to see here.
So
it's from Black Baby.
No, from Tuesday night's show, Lisa Page talked about this book.
Yeah.
And so this is just an excerpt of it. It says, some people get more while others get less because policies don't always grant equal access. And so this is just a little snippet of a
That's
baby
what
book.
She was talking about the other day with the white hand that was reaching out with the net.
Yes. So
go
that
back,
net.
Go back to that
Wait,
image
what?
there. So the baby wants it, but the baby can't reach it. So you can't see the hand.
Oh, okay.
But it's a white hand holding the net. And Black Baby can't reach the butterfly because somebody with privilege has the net, stealing them all. But read that phrase one more time again, Candace.
Some people get more while others get less because policies don't always grant equal access.
You can get butterfly nets literally any store, right?
Walmart's got them. I mean, you get your fishing net, do whatever. But that's not like policies and access. That's not a book written to children.
No.
Have you ever read a children's book with the word policy in it?
And you explain policies to your small child?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, that's the whole thing to me. That's the whole deal. All right, show me another image, Candace.
Okay, so this is from a different book, but it says equal rights, black, brown, or white, clean and healthy is a right. Every place we live and play, environmental justice is the way.
Environmental justice. That's really written for 4-year-olds.
And then on the left side, it's kind of cut off, but you can see the elephant and the donkey butting heads.
Oh, look at this. See, that's subliminal. Then you learn to equate the elephant as being against environmental justice. It's a mean elephant with all the Russian stars on there, too.
Clean and healthy.
Clean and healthy is a right. It's not a right. It's not a right. I have the right to be dirty too. I mean, by that, I mean
you hadn't bathed in 3 days.
I mean, 4 maybe.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen running water in. I guess we're going on a week.
You haven't even washed your special places?
No.
Well, oh gosh.
Who do you think smells better, Rob Lowe or John Stamos?
Rob Stamos. I don't know. I don't know.
Rob Lowe.
But you know what I'm saying?
It's not Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah. Okay. People. That's. See, let me go back to what I was saying about social justice. If it's social, that means everyone. If it's not about everyone, it's about no one. Social. Okay. There are people all over the world who don't have the access to clean food, clean water, clean living conditions. They don't have access to health. So that's not, and okay, if you're writing that from an American perspective, that's a first world perspective. And we strive for those things. We want those things. We want the access to those things, but they're not necessarily a right. No one else is responsible to keep me healthy. Okay? I have the freedom and I have the ability to pursue happiness. Being healthy makes me happy, right? So I have the ability to pursue that health care. I have the ability to chase after that. I have the freedom to do those things. Life, I have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Those are my inalienable rights given to me by God and upheld by this country. But I don't have the right to I can't demand that this country provide me with health.
Right.
What happens if I get cancer tomorrow? And, that's that.
Well, socialism's going to fix all of that, Chad. And you're going to get everything you need.
Joe Biden said if he gets elected, he's going to cure cancer.
See?
I mean, he said it.
Yeah.
Show me another picture, Candace.
Okay, so this is from a book called Woke Baby.
Woke Baby?
Yes.
I don't like it when babies are woke. They cry.
It says, look at your fists, fingers curled into a panther's paw, pointing up, 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 reaching for justice. The continuation of this says, look at each toe, wiggling hello to the sky. There is no glass ceiling. There is no one to tell you no.
No glass ceiling. That 3-year-olds really understand that glass ceiling.
That's deep.
Panther's paw.
Yes, that made my jaw drop. I was like, wow.
A panther's paw.
Can't imagine why.
I'm telling you, man,
they're teaching racism.
It is teaching racism.
Bottom line, it's teaching racism.
It's teaching the differences. It's teaching resentment is what it's teaching. Again, my definition of racism, I go back to something that is withheld from somebody because of the color of their skin, right? I don't believe anything should be withheld from somebody because of the color of their skin,
ever.
Right? But certain things should be withheld from certain people. For instance, if you break the law, freedom is going to be withheld from you. Okay? You're going to go to jail. So, that's that. That's where it's at. Anyway, it's not even subliminal anymore. It's right out there in front of you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even a subconscious attempt anymore. It's just right out there at you. So, there you go. There you go. These are children's books written for adults.
I was gonna say, with some
that's like The Simpsons being a children's cartoon,
right?
It ain't. Or Family Guy being a children's cartoon. It ain't. These ain't children's books. These are not children's books.
No.
So, I mean, read the Bible, folks. That's the best book you can. Just read the Bible.
Explain to me glass ceiling.
Glass ceiling and a panther's paw. And policy and access. And oh, my Lord, have mercy, Candace.
Yeesh.
You're right. It triggered me.
Yeah.
You got another one?
And then, well, just in addition to that, if you go through just something like Amazon, there's like anti-racist coloring books and,
What happens if I color them a different color?
Right.
What about Clifford, the big red dog?
Oh, I
Probably
loved
some
him.
subliminal messages in there. We just hadn't looked deep enough.
That's true. We did have that in the Disney movies. There were some subliminals in there.
Well, the Cincinnati Bengals, I think it was the Bengals, had on their football field at the end of the end zone, end racism. So I'm sure that's going to fix it all.
Well, sure. That's not such subliminal in any way. That's pretty out there.
Look, there are racists out there.
Oh, yeah.
They suck.
Yeah, but there's there's white racists, there's black racists,
every
there's
color
Chinese
racist.
racists, there's all across the board.
I mean, if you want equality, then you get equality, and part of that equality is there's every color is racist, right? If you want equality, let's make it all equal.
Sure.
Boy, howdy, y'all, shut up. That's my name. That's the name of my album.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good one.
Are we going to get hard copies? I have message after message
They're
wanting
coming.
to buy the CD.
They're coming. The hard copies are coming. They've been working on some publishing information, getting it out there, getting some things straight. I haven't been to a computer in a month.
There's your answer, people that keep sending me messages looking for the hard CD.
Yeah.
Have you done any truck rants lately? I know people love those because
I've done them from my office. I've done a
Okay.
couple of them from my office in the corner, and
Yes.
and so yeah, just me riffing on a couple of things.
it's good because, that's why everyone loves you so much for many things. But I know that a lot of times when we get triggered like this,
Yeah.
you're able to articulate it in a way that most can't.
I try.
Feel like this should be a topic.
I try. Which part?
Anti-racist baby books.
Oh, yeah, maybe so. I'm just, yeah.
Mm.
I'll think about it.
Okay,
The
pray on it.
inspiration has to hit me.
Pray on it.
I doubt that I need to do all that, but yeah, I don't think we need to get the divine involved.
Well,
Maybe,
I think we do.
maybe. I mean, on my truck rant.
Oh, okay. Well,
I
got it.
mean, God's busy doing a couple of things. Just kidding. If you think anything is like a small deal, I don't need to bother God with this. Then that means you think some things are big deals to God, and they're not. So
It's all the same.
He'll work it all out. Hey, hang tight. Be right back. Steve, how's everything going with you guys? You with the podcast, with the beer for brunch and all that stuff?
Killing it.
Yeah,
Bigger, growing. every
whining
day.
women,
Whining women, all
Yeah.
of them.
just good stuff. Everybody likes to drink beer and wine.
I want to go back to
cigars
a
and,
broadcast of it. I
Over
had fun.
on Party Foul Nation YouTube channel.
Yeah.
We have a lot of carryover from this show, which I'm grateful for. But we also picked up a big, huge veteran community that we're put out everywhere.
Yeah.
So
Dude, I appreciate, there's so many different ones. We mentioned law enforcement, our vet community, of course, the Fact Pack, which is just kind of, we're all just a bunch of island of misfits that get together every night and everybody has a chat. I'm watching. I check y'all out. I see that you're there. Don't always say anything, but I check you guys out. And I like watching that community. There's a Fact Pack, Fact page on Facebook that everybody gets
I'm
to.
really grateful for the Fact Pack.
Mhm.
They
because
show up,
They
man.
show up to all of
They come to the live shows and
all the shows.
hang
So-
out, and they showed a lot of support.
I remember seeing one of the shirts whenever I walked into Billy Bob's. I saw a Fact Pack shirt, and I was like, "Oh, I'm a fan!
Yeah, yeah.
Like I'm a fan of
I'm
you."
a fan of the Fact Pack
Yeah.
too. So it's
Yeah.
kind of
But the trucking community has been a big supporter of ours that
Huge.
tune in and listen to the podcast version of this, which I encourage everybody to go to Apple Podcasts and leave us a rating and a review and help us climb the charts. Get out there and do it. Helps make us more findable. And we'd love to add more people to it. So encourage people to watch the YouTube, go to Pluto TV. What are we now? Channel 238? 238 on Pluto. And, of course, you can get it and never miss a thing if you go to blazetv.com/Chad and get that. Make sure you're following Hot News Natalie at Natalie Woods 22.
22.
Yeah, and look at Bobcat Ben hanging out there over the
we
thing.
hung him up in the middle
Yeah,
of
we
segment.
did a set change right in the middle of a break.
He needs a little spotlight on him so you can
Does
see
he?
him.
Does he though?
He's
Does
a
he?
little dark.
Does he? He's a little creepy, is what he
He is
is.
Have a
creepy.
little puke on him or something.
Yeah, hopefully nobody pukes on that Bobcat. I love y'all. God bless. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.